Here we go again. This is another first division matchup. It's Lalique. Lalique. Well, they're not French, they look to be Italian, so Lalique, kanskje. Maybe. Here. Versus CLAPS. Not sure who picked this home map. I'll need to go back into the Rex folder to check. Maybe it's mentioned. Yeah, it's CLAPS homemade. They're picking Bedouins here. So I'm assuming CLAPS here went for the first pick because they've been able to pick Indians here. They are the home map. They get to decide who picks civilization first. So secure the Indians, but then they were also allowed to get Mongols and Mayans in the draft. So there's a draft. You draft 3 civilizations. Nothing aside from that. So if you want to prevent Indians here with their fast shorefish income, you need to secure the first pick. You need to secure the first pick for yourself. But let's have a look here to the opposition's picks here. We have Matthew with the Spanish. Probably going to play Conquistadors here if he is allowed to. And then Arquitecto Rambaldo Mel with the Persians, which I would say, due to their comparable, maybe even slightly faster boom, and full upgrades on their cavalry, could contest the Indians at least until Indians' Imperial Camels. And we have Zocolo with the Berbers down here. So Berbers, a nice counter pick to Bot Marley's Mongols, in the fact that Berbers, especially with their spot now, fairly isolated down south, they get to presumably easily get a castle or 2 up to start pumping out camel archers, which will trade very nicely against the Mongols' unique unit, the Mangudai, which Bot Marley will want to go for. We'll see if the players opt for some scouts opening aggression here. Could certainly be an option. But to introduce the rest of the cities here, we have King Bu as the Mayans here. And the Capybara with the Indians in the pocket. King Bu walling off a bit here. I doubt that they will go for a full broad team wall all the way down here. Seems a bit extensive, but not impossible. Whereas blue and green here, they could easily secure their corner here through some collective walling efforts. One bit here. Just wanted to mention the captains that their sets are going live. Let me give the Capybara the orange as well, just for the distinction between the colors. A bit easier with orange compared to green. And then we should be on the way. Massive shorefish investment here. King Bu did go for that instant loom with the Mayans, or not instant, but opening loom. You don't have to, apparently, if you collect a bit of shorefish first, but they're safe than sorry, etc. And it means to keep the idle TC time at an absolute minimum. Only 3 seconds here, all at very low idle TC times, of course, with the fast food income of shorefish. Second mill going up for King Bu here. Already, by the looks of it, setting up for a fast castle economy, I would say. 4 wood, rest on food. Unless you're going Feudal Age Eagles, I'd say the Mayans, of course, will go fast castle here. The beginnings of a team wall happening here as well. Scouting sheep getting their return blocked here. And they're flaring where they want to wall off. They've been scouting consistently with the sheep to the sides here to define where and how to wall. And we'll have a functional team wall nice and early on here for CLAPS. That could be pretty darn ridiculous, especially for the Mayans and Indians with their economies of boom. Indians having 5, 10, 15 and 20% discount on the villagers throughout the game. And by the way, we have a 15 villager up here for the capybara. That's that Indian swordfish income for you. Placing the barracks, and likely going to... This has to be the scouts, then you can't go fast castle with 15 villagers. That's a bit of a stretch. So fuel age is in, the wood allows for a stable, and the food economy at 300 food and rising as well, because Indians collect shorefish 10% faster, and it's already the second fastest fish, food income in the game. Look at this walling! These waller boys making their own grand arena, or should I say hideout here. From edge to edge, there's just a little bit of the top side for both Marley here, and then they'll be nice and fully walled here. Not the same kind of team spirit here for Lalique. They are not team walling together. Here comes the stable for Arquitecto Rambaldomel as well. 18 villagers now, so 3 villagers behind the Indians, but still a respectable uptime. Delaying Doom even. So they're both delaying Doom here for going up. I think I said Berbers, I meant the Persians, of course. Persians and Berbers. Berbers aiming for the fast castle here, but looks like 24 villagers up, while Arquitecto will be fielding some scouts. Their scouts will have limited potential though if these walls actually complete for CLAPS, and looking at the way they've walled in between the small ponds here, there's no entry. There's not going to be any entry for Lalique scouts here. Sheep just now running into the walls here, sensing what's going on here. And that should be a warning sign for Arquitecto that maybe just commit to some defensive spears instead against the early Indians' uptime, and try to adapt and get to that castle instead. Let's go to the idle TC and Eco KD stats here for the early stages of the game. So the capybara, 5 scouts out, 22 villagers total now, dropping the blacksmith, so allowing for a castle age transition here already, maybe going with 3 or 4 villagers to gold here. Lots of shorefish still to be taken. Indians won't need to farm here for a long time yet. While Spanish player drops the blacksmith market, 26 villagers, about to be 27 resources are there to click up, so once the blacksmith and market completes, we'll be having Meteo in the castle age to drop that castle and pump out those conquistadores. 9 scouts and counting for the capybara, and staying feudal age a while longer by the looks of it. The food bar, that's the red one here. In the meantime, Bot Marley and King Boo are on the way to the castle age. Bot Marley going to... Is he mining stone here? Yeah, 5 on stone, so he's gonna make the Mangood die. Actually, the green scouts are true here, but there should be enough Indian scouts and spears here to clean up this. I guess they didn't really break through even, they just punched through the palisade. Mayans, cheaper stone walls, that's why King Boo can do this. And Boo is already mining stone because he wants to get those castles up for the Mayans' plumed archers, which is basically the cav archer of the Meso civilizations. It's a very fast foot archer that the Mayans have as their unique unit, and it can be very annoying to be up against because they run so quickly you can barely ever get a mangonel or onagre shot in on them. They'll just dodge it. Teal and Blue going castle age as well. They're all at 27 builders here, so very little idle TC times to be spotted here. There are just matching the uptimes. King Boo, tiny bit ahead still maybe because of that extra starting villager of the Mayans. So by walling like this early on, it is possible on on African clearing because you know the scouts. You don't have a starting scout, so you can't deny that walling early on. That's why they're able to pull off this early. Castles going up for all of the players going for the unique units here. Mangudai versus Camel Archer. That's where the Camel Archers shine. But then we'll have Plumed Archers maybe to join in with the Mangudai, and if they work together, they might be able to trade against the Camel Archers. And there's the Conquistadors as well, but they have less range than the Plumes and also the Mangudai. So they might not be as efficient as you'd think here. A little bit of food trading going on here, and surprisingly so, because there's not actually a lack of food on this map, maybe a bit off on the farm or fish economy here, but the first few conquistadors on the way. We are making Mangudai, we are making Camel Archers, and we also have the Indians player approaching the Castle Age here. So what's that going to bring? Is it going to go into boom mode, or going to double up on the stables production? Double stables here, maybe both actually. Could be triple TC boom and making double stable camels here for the Capybara. Vasically in the chat, hello there. I always envision Obi-Wan Kenobi's voice when you when you write that. I read it inside me with the Obi-Wan voice. Here's TCs popping up, third TC for the Mayans, 3 TCs for the Indians as well. Conquistadors trying to get some raids in here. General Akkal. Yes. Here comes a stable for the Mongols. That is to get bloodlines and husbandry for the Mangudai. Let's actually compare the speed movement. Conquistadors marginally faster than the Conquistadors. I don't think 0.003 tiles is of consequence here. Bot Marley tries to stonewalling here with the Conquistador movement of Matthew, and it makes that awkward for the red player. And he's in here. That could obstruct the gold access, but the Mangudai numbers are increasing as well. And assuming Bodkin is in, which it is, should mean that the Mangudai have at least one more range than the Conks. And oh wait, they're actually tied in range, so scratch that. Same range. And whoever gets to Bloodlands first has an advantage here. I guess the Mangudai still have... No, it's 60 HP, so they need to get to Bloodlands. It's on the way. Then we're going to have 75 HP for the Mangudai as well. They are matching in numbers. And but the Conquistadors micro is on point here. They have much higher damage output as well, so Conquistadors trading better for sure here. Here come some Indians Knights to join in though, and if they get close to the Conquistadors, they have bonus damage against the armor class of Conquistadors, so they can deal with them quickly and easily. They also move slightly faster, I believe, so... I feel like orange is everywhere here. The starting scouts have been upgraded to light cab. A minimum of numbers lost in the field age means that light cab upgrade definitely is warranted. They also have extra pierce armor, being the Indians, +1 in the Castle Age, another +1 in the Imperial Age. So the Camel Archers will deal less damage to the light cab here. They're also serving as a meat shield in front of the Plumed Archers here, with King Boo now obstructing the gold and stone income of Zukolov. King Boo about to complete his TC number 4 here. CLAPS should be assuming a villager lead here. They simply have more town centers and are producing consistently out of them. Conquistador numbers ever increasing here for the Spanish player. Also a third TC coming up for the blue player. Team Wall beginnings of the team wall for Team Lalique as well, but will they be able to handle the pressure of Bloom Launchers and Light Cap here? Yes, the answer is yes. The first wave of Bloom Launchers being focused on by the Berbers and Persians' collective efforts here, Matthew also raiding away with the Conquistadors here. Careful not to lose too large numbers here. Finding the choke points wherever possible and keeping the Mangonine numbers low here of bot Marley. The Conquistadors has a whooping 16 attack and even though they are inaccurate, as long as they just a few of them hit, they'll basically one-shot Mangudai at this rate. Mangudai benefits from ballistics though, so if you get ballistics for the Mangudai and get to an equal mass, it might work into the Mangudai's favor. That's sheep, so they are also interesting to follow. 205 villagers now, so 30-40 equal lead for CLAPS. Not a disaster, but that's only going to escalate with the total amount of town centers for CLAPS being 7-9 to okay, it's 9-8, so it's not all that bad. And Lalique are getting better trades here all over. In terms of eco kills, but it doesn't matter how many villagers you kill if the opposing team is as good at replenishing them and booming as CLAPS currently are. King Boo especially, essentially untouched at home base, as going Imperial Age now at 95 villagers, which is basically what you need. All you need, that's the Mayans. They are they have those longer lasting resources. All of the resources behind the walls here, they are not going to be lost anytime soon. The stone walls are up as well. King Boo has secured basically 50% of the map through stone walls, and Lalique are looking for a weak spot to enter. There's only the Palisade Gate here, so that would be a point of entry for them. But now also Imperial Age on the way for the Indians, which will allow for Heavy Camel and eventually Imperial Camel for the Indians, and that's going to be tough for the Persians to match here, looking at the resource bars for the Imperial Age. Not quite there yet. All three armies on Lalique were joining in here. They're chasing orange and red here now. Where are the plumes of King Boo? Are they going to join in to see if they have any plumes here? He probably wants to preserve them for the Imperial Age upgrade, but they're pulling back home. Mangudai going up north, Camels going up south. This is going to be broken almost instantly for CLAPS, but CLAPS don't really want to take this engagement. I was halfway to the Imperial Age for the Capybara here, which means that this is an engagement you really don't want to take when the Heavy Camel is only about 1 or 2 minutes away, including the research time. Now the enemy armies are at large inside the base of CLAPS here. Do they actually want this? Plumed archers with ballistics in here, Imperial Age coming in, which gives King Boo Bracer as well. Going to give much better trades, of course. He has 2 castles to pump out those plumed archers as well, immediately queuing Bracer and Chemistry for the attack advantage. And it looks to me like Lalique kinda want to pull out here, but they're also forced to take the fight in the middle of things here. They're fighting three armies versus 2 here now, so they're going to take huge losses, potentially. Cavalry archers, of course, wanting to focus the Mangudai. They have a bonus attack against cavalry archers, 4 bonus attack. And yeah, definitely losing numbers here now, although the KD is on the negative side for CLAPS overall. But they are significantly ahead in economy. They are ahead in the age development. The only player not up to Imperial Age yet is Bot Marley, who is lacking in the food department. Doesn't have a lot of farm economy going on, so may probably relying on the shorefish still, as you could on this map. Elite Plumed Archer coming in for King Boo. further boosting their stats, and camel archers being caught up by the camels here. The camels slightly faster, 160 to 154. This is a really crazy game. Yeah, big fights. I'm glad to see so much army engagement, even with the early walling of CLAPS going on here. Economy extending at home for Lalique here. They're all going to the Imperial Age now. Persians boom, as we know, is very good as well, with the town centers working 10%, no, 15% faster now in the Castle Age and 20% faster in the Imperial Age. Excuse me. But the heavy camels are now in for the Indians, and only 14 camels to match that for the Persians, and they are still 2 minutes away from the next age. King Boo now with 3 castles producing the plumed archers and 36 in the numbers and counting, and they are elite. They have bracer, they have their 9 total attack, and I believe they even have some sneak damage against... No, actually they don't have any extra damage against cavalry. It just feels like that with their high attack, I guess. And the fast firing, right, their rate, the second between attacks, 1.9 compared to the camel archers, 2 seconds between attacks, so blue archers fire faster. But camel archers in exchange have more hit points, obviously. Like, only 10 more hit points, actually. Ridiculously tanky, these blue archers. Indians camel mass increasing here, 43 of them now. Imperial camel on the way in as well, and only missing that last attack upgrade, but I guess Imperial camel being expensive takes the priority. Here, if you get to a ridiculous enough mass of Imperial camels, you don't even need siege weapons almost. They will just slay buildings. 1 minute 20 seconds to go for that upgrade, as Architetto is in the Imperial Age, but struggling to keep up with the Indians massive, getting heavy camel. We're getting elite camel archer for Zocolo as well. And we have a pretty healthy economy for the Berbers still, but now the Mangonai are out here as well. Imperial Age is in, and Bracer, Thambrin coming in. Eventually we might see elite Mangonai as well, but Bot Marley. Eco is on the lower side. No trade commenced yet, I think. But let's keep this stat. Anyway, just in case any team starts trades, it does look kind of dire for CLAPS here though. No, not for CLAPS, for Lalique here. They are outmassed by a factor of 50. Halberdier now in here for Spanish, good call. You really need that, but then there's the blue archers too, with their some bonus against infantry to meddle in with that. And blue archers against camels as well should be trading very efficiently, because camels have very limited pierce armor. Imperial Camel is in, as you can see. They also have 4 bonus damage against building. They have 18 bonus damage against cavalry, and 9 against camels for that matter. And yeah, just basically just slaying buildings with their how much attack? Yeah, like 16 attack per hit or something against the buildings. I don't quite know how the bonus damage works, but really making things awkward now. Plumes versus Mangonai over here, but King Boo has some ridiculous mass, so he should be able to take good trades here. And besides, he has 70 plumed archer total. 20 built to lead. Lalique are still feeling good numbers of army out here, but CLAPS hasn't taken eco hits since early Castle Age, so they are really in a very good spot eco-wise here. Almost 100 villagers ahead. And as long as there's gold spots to be mined as well, they don't really need to stress any trade investment. They're just going to push with their armies and try to deal as much damage as possible while they are inside of enemy bases here. Persian camels chasing the Mangudai here. If they get close, they'll clean up the Conquistadors as well. Probably not elite, as the Spanish has transitioned. Oh, they are elite, actually. But yeah, Mangudai numbers diminishing here, which means that CLAPS are losing a little bit of that elite Mangudai mass. King Boo doesn't even care about TC Fire anymore. These Bloom Archers also have 2+4 piece armor, so they can withstand quite a few TC arrows. Now, starting a little bit of trade here for the Indians at least, and the Imperial Camels, 46 in the numbers. The rest are basically villagers here for the Indians. Plumed Archers taking responsibility for the camels, and possibly the Conquistadors here as well. They should be outranging them by 2. And they also reproduce so quickly, these Plumed Archers, with the 6 castles now of King Boo, that even if King Boo loses this mass, he's not going to worry too much about that. He has 6 castles pumping out the Plumed Archers, while Friedel is in for the siege ramps of Port Mali over here, together with a huge chunk of elite Mangudai here, and they are going to eat through the buildings of Lalique this way. The ultimate Mongols death ball here, supported by Imperial Camels and elite Plumed Archers. How do you even stop this? What army combination can stop this? The answer is nothing, probably. The GG is called, and CLAPS gets the first game here. Let's have a look at the stats. Early walling really paying off for CLAPS there. Keeps most of the raiding away, even if there weren't really a lot of early scouts. It's tough to keep up with Indians on this map though, especially when they can go 15 villagers scouts comfortably like that and still keep a competitive cast rate of below 20 minutes, which is crazy. And some players going fast castle here, the Persians going scouts, Indians going scouts, matching in uptimes actually, but Persians made fewer scouts total. Capybara made at least 10 scouts, maybe more. 188.80 KD for King Boo, that's the power of the Plumed Archers right there. And Conquistadors and Camel Archers doing good work there as well. Yeah, though there are a lot of options to stop Mangudai with the siege ram, but what if there are Imperial Camels and what's the last? Imperial Camels and Plumed Archers in addition to that? That's the thing. It's not just the Rams and the siege ram Mangudai, it's all of the combined armies. But anyway, let's find the second game, which is Nomad, Lalique's home map. Another Nomad start, hopefully one we can play back. I'm not sure if we'll play with what it was played. Yeah, they play Nomad Wars Duo. Nomad, perfect. We should be able to spectate it, no problem then. Let's switch up the colors a bit here again. Maybe red for the Capybara, so we can tell the difference between the colors more easily here. Alright, we're on Nomad Wars Duo. Nomad is basically just your standard DE Nomad, but without the treaty, as you can see. No square here, no treaty. I'm not sure if Capture H actually shows that one, come to think of it. But TC is popping down everywhere here. The draft is per map. They draft 3 civilizations, so independent of each home map. So reusage perfectly possible. King Boo with the Mayans again here. So enjoying the Mayans and the Plumed Archers, and they are obviously a strong option for Nomad style maps or any kind of map where you can get to it, but Nomad maps traditionally have a lot of stone, so of course you want to get into the unique unit then. The Capybara with the Persians this time around go to Nomad civilization because they can dock immediately and afford a TC and a house. And yeah, as we can see, the dock and the fishing ship already out as the only player here. Bought Marley with the Spanish, another nomad civilization, very annoying to be up against the conquistadors on these open style maps like Nomad and Bedouins. We saw it in the previous game as well, the conquistadors getting very good trades out. Then there's Zuccolo with the Italians here. Italia clan playing the Italians, but it's not only because of the Italian origin, it's because Italians have cheaper fishing ships and generally play well on water. And in addition, they have the unique unit, the Genoese crossbowmen, to counter Persian cavalry and Spanish conquistadors, for example, because the Genoese crossbowman deals bonus damage to cavalry. Turks for Metju, I'm not too sure what the Turks pick. Could be cast and drops and Janissaries, or even cavalry archers for the Turks. They have fully upgraded Turks cav archers, and I believe they have a unique technology for them, granting more hit points as well. Sipahi. And but yeah, Janissaries strong in Castle Age. Possible contestant to the Spanish conquistadors as well, both being gunpowder units, but Janissaries having more range, although being a lot more fragile. And finally, Architetto Rambaldomel here with the Lithuanians, another go-to nomad civilization, because they start with 150 extra food. Makes it a lot easier to sustain your villager population while focusing on wood, so you can sustain or drop the dock nice and early and sustain fishing ships almost instantly, like the Persians. Not quite instantly, but close. So, Zocolo will want to take some naval responsibility here, and that is a bit of a concern because it's sandwiched in between the Capybara and King Boo here. Now, King Boo might not necessarily opt for naval combat here, being the Mayans, but Capybara with the Persians and that eco boost that Persians get with that instant fishing ship will very likely be up early and take some responsibility for water here. King Boo actually, see, some idle TC time here, has been struggling maybe a little bit to find food sources. So, but now he's bringing in the boar. Maybe the timing a little bit off here for the Mayans player to transition from collecting wood to food, or just didn't scout the boars in time here. Rhinos, rather. Walling off again, could wall this section and could wall all the way to the edge as well, actually, if the scouting is sufficient here for King Boo. Decent positioning, but they're also quite close to Architetto here with the Lithuanians. So we'll see who takes responsibility here. Bot Marley, where are the stones? Did he even scout any stones yet? He's found a stone over here, that's probably going to be the one he takes. And then he'll have to fight with King Boo for who gets the rhino. Why am I in red? Because yellow and green is so tough to distinguish. And why are you not Squeaker anymore? You used to be called Squeaker in game, didn't you? Uh-oh. Well, Loom is in, so we should be alright here. Thanks for the follow, Bot Marley. Much appreciated. TC trick here, don't mess it up, don't mess it up. Nope. Of course they won't. 3 rhinos here for Bot Marley. He's not kidding around here. He's going to get that fast castle down for the Spanish, maybe, presumably. Unless Architetto Rambaldomel has a say in it. Started being associated with capybaras. Gotcha. Yeah, no harm in changing things up a bit here. So, extensive fish boom here for the Lithuanians in green here. Bot Marley. I mean, Bot Marley probably won't be playing naval aggression here, so I guess they'll both be able to fish freely here for a while until whoever focuses on water starts contesting the fish over here. And that benefits both of them for what looks like fast castle approaches. Lithuanians ahead with that fish food boost here. And not great news for bot Mali, of course, with the Lithuanians very likely up earlier to the cast age. My entire team docking on the wrong side. True. But at least they get the satisfaction of taking out the blue fish here. Looks like King Boo senses that something is up down here as well. I don't know. Maybe he wanted to chase this docking villager. I don't know. Everyone knows changing your name is total disgrace and should be an immediate ban for whoever did it. Says Tech Chariot. Nice one. So the fuel ledgers are kicking in here. Have a look at the resource bars here. That's the resources needed to go to the next age. Is it actually feudal investment here for is... Oh, green is playing water, and actually it makes sense, because if you obstruct the fish income of bot Marley here, that really cripples that food income you need to pump out your conquistadors. Another rhino, so it has to be the 4th or 5th rhino for bot Marley though, so he's doing alright. But losing the fish, still big loss here, and he can't really rely on his friends to to help just yet, at least. Zocolo with double docks producing the fire galleys here, as is the case for the Persians. Actually, triple docks for the Persians, and the Capybara also has 10% faster working docks and town center now. So, should easily be outnumbering the Italians here, unless he gets a good demo shot in. So, good demo hit there by Zuccolo. Spanish fish going down there just before the food needed to click up. Blacksmith market probably in place here. And someone has been flexing their quick walls here on the gold of green, so sorry I missed that. Took 2 rhinos which really should have been greens. Well, shame on green for not scouting or taking the food in time then. Back to the south side here. So wait, what's going on there? Oh yeah, that's fish escaping, not ships fighting. Red outnumbering here. Here comes a demo as well, which could actually take out both of these in one hit. Demos! First demo, okay, good spot by the Capybara. Here comes a second one as well, and a demo from Teal now all of a sudden here. Woo! So Matthew also investing a little bit here, not a lot actually, just making the demos, but which admittedly against masked fire galleys could make a huge difference here. One, two, three, still 3 docks producing here. And if you look at the production speed to compare here, okay, bad comparison, apparently. The percentage bar just moves a little bit faster. Yeah, it's so tough to compete with Persians on water, even if you're a good naval civilization like the Italians. The Persians have that early food boost, or eco boost, so they'll likely be up sooner, and then to add to that, they have a faster production. So I think Zuccolo will have to call the naval situation lost here. Here comes Castle Age for bot Marley, and guess what? We're seeing a castle drop right in the face of the green player, who is 40% Castle Age. So while this castle denies the TC and some wood income here, it is not going to deny Architetto the transition to the next stage. But what bot Marley is doing here is freeing up the time for King Boo to... Oh no, is it going to be a double castle drop? Of course it's going to be a double castle drop. I feel sorry for green already. It's being bullied by CLAPS. With not just 1 but 2 castle right in the face of the Lithuanians. What do you have against Lithuanians, guys? Is there some secret war going on between the Lithuania and Britain? Anyway, Turks with the castle as well, going to make those Janissaries. So Janissaries versus Conquistadors here, while where the Conquistadors have the mobility advantage, of course. But Marley is losing the dock, and the food situation looks rather dire here. Is eating the buffaloes and the berries and the hunt, but eventually will have to get into farming as well, losing how many... hold on. Didn't lose it, actually. Where are the fish? Well, they're idling, so while not lost, they're not bringing in food either. Could possibly redock in the south here, but the deep fish is already on the low side here. I guess we're going to focus on the middle now. Double stables for the Lithuanians. Will want to snag relics if possible as well, but they aren't always as easy to spot on Nova. There's one here, but the other two are way out of bounds for the green player. Starting TC will go down, but it's just rebuilding it close to the Turks castle here and protecting another wood line and to some extent the gold. But now out with the plumed archers again for King Boo to start sniping villagers. And ironically enough, trade decently against the Janissaries as well. But the Janissaries, I think they outrange the plumes. They have 8 range to the plumes 6 currently. Triple TCs for the Capybara, Persians boom in effect here. Maybe this is a game where we'll see War Elephants just for the flex, but we'll see. Bot Marley out with the Persians, raiding the villagers of Zuccolo here, who is sort of sandwiched in between all of CLAPS here, so this is not a great spot to be in for the Italians player, who is still with 1 fiery galley left, but is about to lose the fish income and the docks as well. King Boo heavy on stone now will want to get another cast lap as well. The eco situation is below for CLAPS, but they have much larger, or not much larger, but they have larger and stronger land armies, and another castle will now go up here, protected by plumed archers, going to deny this TC and possibly the gold income of the green player over here. All of the right hand side here is up for grabs for CLAPS, and so many gold spots and stone spots, so some stone spots to be claimed. They are punching Lalique further out to the left of the map, where admittedly they don't have the best starting spot. There's still a few gold spots here, so we're not going to be out or without gold access for a while yet, but they are under heavy pressure here with Conquistadors raiding on one side and Plumed Archers raiding the other. Huge mobility in play here for CLAPS. Conquistador, only 6 of them out, so, but Bot Marley extending the economy further to the side here now, so as that economy extends, that's going to allow for more consistent army production as well. They have such high attack, 16 attack for the Conquistadors, they are a ridiculous unit. Now going to take out the green market here, which green will actually suffer a little bit from here. It's floating quite a bit of wood, so we'll need to rebuild the market to balance that wood economy into other resources as needed. Architetto here with the fire galleys taking out some of the Capybara's armies, so defending their own fish down here, but there are still a few fire ships left, so haven't really let go of the naval situation just yet, the red player. Massive eco KD for CLAPS though, so even if they were behind at some point in eco units that really established a lead here now, both in military and economy. And from the positioning, they also had a very good starting point to push the enemies further and further away. Resource bars, not really closing in on Imperial Age for anyone just yet. No fish eco whatsoever for King Boo. He must have lost the little fish he had to some enemy ships, but doesn't really matter at this point. Mayans have such great economy anyway, and as you only need a minimum of farms to keep your thesis working while you use wood and gold to pump out the plumed archers. Scrambling up another DC here for Architetto, actually, funnily enough, on the opposite side of the goal, which is out of range of the castle. That's not to say that the plumed archers could dive in and be annoying again and again here to obstruct that gold income. Plumed archers numbers just constantly increasing here, as 28 of them for King Boo now has 2 castles to produce them from. In the middle here we have the Genoese crossbowmen in production for Zukolo, which should at the very least be able to deal with Persian's cavalry and Spanish conquistadors, but against the plumed archers they are still at a loss, so it's a good civilization combo at work here for CLAPS, as they are keeping the enemy numbers and economy low here. Look how fast these move. 120 as compared to the gunman moving at 0.96 tiles. So you can dodge the Janissaries easily. Or just take the fight when you have the numbers, of course. Bam, bam, bam. With ballistics, wait, they don't have ballistics, so scratch that. But with ballistics, the plumed archers will also fire more accurately, as opposed to the Janissaries that are notoriously, or gunpowder units in general, aren't greatly accurate. What's the base accuracy actually? 50 is the base accuracy. That's nothing, not great to say the least. For the conquistadors, it's at least slightly higher. But they're doing great work at tracking each other's armies here. King Boo and anticipating the Janissaries movement again, and now going to diminish the numbers massively here. Lots of wood being sold here to actually go Imperial Age for the Turks, wanting to deal with some of these castles that are pumping out the unique units. Capybara, more of a defensive castle here, covering 2 golds and the stone here. Of course, with large enough Persians boom, you could actually go for the war elephants eventually, but that claim needs an amazing boom and large map control from your teammates if you want to flex with that. It's such an expensive unit, 200 food, 100 gold, the upgrades notwithstanding. Capybara has claimed the water fully here as well, now going to chase the Lithuanians' food eco, which is admittedly all on water currently, so green is really in a pickle here, being pushed further and further to the left, and now about to lose the fish as well, which isn't exactly efficient for Architetto here. 66 to 29, military Lalique are at a rough matchup here against a higher seeded team after all. But on Nomad, it's also about positioning, and if you get a good starting positioning on Nomad, it's amazing how much that could even out the skill gap between players. I've been there myself, beating players several hundred elo points above because we had a better strategy or better map positioning in general. What? Where? Why aren't you moving to eat the fish? Take the fish! Doesn't really matter that much at this point, but there's still one player bringing the fish economy for Lalique. One castle getting denied by the Genoese crossbowmen here. Shouldn't be too much the Conquistadors can do about that either. Imperial Age on the way for the orange player. Even numbers here, but the Genoese having bonus damage against cavalry should be getting a good fight here. Ballistics is in as well. Yeah, they're basically one-shotting the Conks, right? So, Bot Marley losing some numbers here. Bombard cannon out for the Turks as well. No unique tech just yet, but if you get the unique tech for Turks, is it artillery, then you get 2 more range of the bomber cannons as well. So they are at least pushing some of the castles here, limiting the Conquistadors' production. But look at the map positioning here. It's like, including the naval situation, it's like... oh, blue is actually fishing as well. 70% of the map in CLAPS hands now. Imperial Age just kicking in as well. Only 20 seconds to go for the Imperial Age for Bot Marley, who won't be able to afford elite Conquistadors but immediately, but could maybe get a Treb or 2 out, or even bombard cannons of their own to start claiming some, taking out some enemy buildings with siege weapons here. King Boo now at 38 plumed archers, and CLAPS at 140 eco leads or so. Still think Lalique are holding decently here. They're keeping some decent army numbers under the pressure, but they're losing control over, they're losing access to almost all the golds. When this gold is depleted, there's not going to be, and this one, there's not going to be any gold for Lalique to take safely unless they are able to push back somehow, and they are at a disadvantage army-wise, and especially eco-wise. Although all teams still have some. Actually, green is basically out of gold at this point. There's the Imperial Age for King Boo as well, meaning that Bracer will kick in, which I think will allow this castle to range some of the gold over here as well. Could get trebuchets out, protected by plumed archers. But yeah, Bracer, Chemistry, Elite Plumed Archer, Paladin for the Persians here as well. 27 Cavaliers and counting. Really preparing the death ball here. Conks from one side, Paladins for the other. Could be a good sandwich, even against a decent chunk of Genoese crossbowmen here. Masonry for further building HP here to allow the castle to stay up for longer. You could dive in with Trebs here and snipe this, dive in with the Paladins, I mean, and snipe the Trebs, but it's not easy with this mass of Genoese crossbowmen here. I'd kinda like to see the Spanish or Persians adding bombard cannons here to maybe get some sneak hits in on the compact Genoese mass over here. In the meantime, King Boo is just happily trading plumed archers for Janissaries here. Wood gold versus food gold unit here. The bombard cannons numbers increasing. Is artillery in? No, not quite. I did deal with one. I think there was one castle here earlier that has been dealt with, but now the Paladin raids, scrambling up some stone walls here for Zuccolo. It's a good effort to limit raids, but the Paladins are already in, as are the Conquistadors that are now elite, and Trebuchets pushing the castles, which means that the Genoese crossbowmen, the ultimate counter to cavalry play of Paladins and Conquistadors here, they are going to be severely crippled in production potential when the castles go down. More and more map control being claimed here by CLAPS. Bit of a 1 vs 1 up here. Bombard cannons getting very good shots in on the plumed archer masses, but King Boo is with 4 castles again and is just pumping out plumed archers left and right here. 120 military to 55. The eco more than 100 ahead for CLAPS as well. They've almost cleaned up all of the naval area here. Here come the fire ships from the other direction as well. They're going to take out the Italian stocks and take out this last 5 fish that aren't even working for blue. Not really of importance right now. Janissary numbers, elite Janissaries in fact, diminishing. Elite Genoese crossbowmen coming in. And last armor as well, but there's only one castle left now for the blue player. GG is called and CLAPS take the 2-0 here. Well fought by Lalique though. Interesting matches to follow with the heavy emphasis on the unique unit play. Alright, so let's browse through the stats here before we enter the last cast of today, which would be Lalique versus Team Masvi, I think. So King Boo with the most kills here again, 141 to 108, or maybe didn't have the most the previous game, but did have a decent shot. Yeah, I wanted to see more elephants. Shame on you, Squeaker. Shame on you. Lithuanians never making it to Imperial Age here, actually. Double castle drop on Lithuanians, so ruthless denial of the starting position of the green player there. Eco well ahead for CLAPS here, and finally the APM chart to show as well.